ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continued study of Poojya Swamiji's Geetha home study course. In the last capsule, we were discussing about the four kinds of dialogues that usually take place between two people, two individuals. So, one is a discussion involving two or more people who are interested in finding out facts about a subject matter they are exploring. In this type of discussion, there is no teacher student relationship. Each person is equally placed, even though one person may know a little more than the others about the subject matter. They are interested in understanding. This kind of discussion among equals or any collective study among students is called Vada. It is naturally healthy and is traditionally an important component of study. It is said that a student gains a quarter of his knowledge by such discussion. We did see a shloka that bears this out. There are two types of unhealthy dialogue we should be aware of. Here's where we are continuing our discussion on the types of dialogues. One is the dialogue that takes place between two people who are already committed to different beliefs. Such a discussion, called Jalpa, is governed purely by each person's wit. Any discussion between two fanatics falls into this category. Each of them is convinced that the other person is totally wrong and tries to win over the other to his or her particular belief, although there is no basis for the discussion. Suppose you have a belief and I have another belief. Your belief may be right and mine may be wrong. On the other hand, my belief may be right and yours may be totally wrong. Or both of us may be wrong. Both of us may be right also. How then can either of us insist that I alone am right? The difference between a believer and a fanatic becomes obvious here. The difference between a scientist and a believer is also worthy of notice. One may adhere to a belief, but everyone must necessarily have a mind that is open to explore and know. That open, inquiring mind, the mind of a scientist, is an entirely different mind from that of a believer. We can and must respect the belief of others, but we cannot have a discussion based on such beliefs. Both of us may be wrong. A discussion between two people, both of whom are committed to certain beliefs, is purely a dialogue between two missionaries. It is better to respect the other person's belief and have a simple human relationship. Discussions are useless. All you can do is ask, what is your belief? Some people are curious. If you are curious, you can ask, but I myself would not ask because the other person is acceptable to me along with his or her beliefs. I need not know what they are. This is a healthy attitude to have towards a person. But any discussion, jalpa, based on beliefs is useless. No one wins, no one loses. Each person always comes back with better arguments. Therefore, jalpa discussions are useless, they have no value. There is another type of discussion called vitanda, wherein one person makes a statement with which the other person always disagrees. Why? Merely because the other person said it. Due to jealousy or some other reason, one person always tries to prove the other wrong. Such a discussion is also useless. Then there is a dialogue between a teacher and a student. A fourth type of discussion, one that concerns us here, is called samvada, a discussion between a teacher and a student. Guru Sishya Samvada. In the teacher student relationship, the student has already accepted the other person as a teacher and therefore looks up to him or her. Although there is a dialogue between them, the attitude is entirely different. The discussion being based on the student's acceptance that I am a student and this person is my teacher. This attitude prevails until or unless the person thought to be a teacher proves to be otherwise. The moment you discover the person has nothing to teach, you can become friends. However, when you have to learn from someone, you look up to that person. If you do not understand what the teacher is saying, you give the benefit of doubt to the teacher, even though he or she may sometimes appear to be contradictory, seeming to have said something previously that is not in harmony with what is being said now, as we will see in the Bhagavad Geetha. In a Guru Sishya Samvada, the subject matter can be anything. Here in the Gita, the subject matter is Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. In one word, Vedanta. The Guru is Bhagavan Krishna, referred to as Vasudeva's son, and the student is Arjuna, called Partha here because he is Pritha's son. He is also called Kaunteya, the son of Kunti. Arjuna has a number of other names such as Dhananjaya, Savyasachi, Gudakesha, and so on. But Arjuna is his popular name. Between Arjuna, the student, and Lord Krishna, the teacher, there is a discussion, and the Gita is the body of knowledge being taught. Therefore, the Gita is called a samvada, giving the benefit of doubt to the teacher. If it looks as though the teacher is being contradictory, then the student gives the benefit of doubt to the teacher. It is what is expected of a student. As a student, one need not take the blame upon oneself. The teacher can be asked a question. Previously, such and such was said, and now this is being said. Why is this difference? You said Brahman is without qualities, nirguna, and now you say it is with qualities, saguna. How can Brahman be saguna? You say it is beyond the mind and that it is not available as an object for the mind. At the same time, you say one sees oneself, the Atma, with the mind. Manasa pashyati. How can one see the Atma with the mind? And how is one going to know that one is seeing the Atma? It looks as though the Shruti herself is contradictory. To say that Brahman cannot be objectified by the mind but has to be recognized by the mind seems to be a contradiction. Seems to be a contradiction. But it is not a contradiction. It is perfect. If it looks like a contradiction to the student, then he or she can ask a prashna, question. And when the student waits for the right time to ask a question, it is called pariprashna, based on his or her faith, shraddha, in the teacher. As a teacher, one cannot contradict oneself. A teacher who contradicts himself or herself does not know the subject matter. Nor a teacher can simply learn along with a student and teach, since it creates situations wherein both the teacher and the student may suddenly discover a new fact never known to either of them before, a fact that contradicts everything they have known thus far. This is not why one goes to a teacher. Teaching is not meant to be exploratory. Therefore, the teacher should know exactly what he or she is talking about and not be contradictory. The attitude implied by the term Guru Sishya Samvada is especially relevant here, since the entire teaching is itself a means of knowledge. It is not a philosophical speculation. We will explore more on this subject in the next capsule. Hari Om.